and welcome to Stand Up for Jehovah. In 1983, Tracy Ullman, the richest British comedian and the second richest British actress, surpassed only when Isla Fisher married Sacha Baron Cohen this year, did a cover version of a song called Move Over Darling, which became a UK #1. In my congregation in Batley up north, Tina Watson and her sister Wendy did a forensic analysis of the song Move Over Darling to find out whether it was a suitable song for Jehovah's Witnesses to listen to. In their analysis, they turned up the fact that the song was a cover version of a 1963 Doris Day film of the same name, and that in the film Doris Day was married when she sang the words Move Over Darling, and therefore Jehovah's Witnesses were able to listen to this song that had hit #1. My question in all of this was, what made them pick that particular song to drill down so deeply to decide whether it was a suitable song or not? I felt surely you could take any song at all and look at either the lyrics or the provenance of the song, where it had come from, what it was set in, or you could look at the life of the person who sang it and decide that it was unsuitable. In fact, surely you could almost rule out everything except kingdom melodies. There was a brother in our congregation that used to regularly denounce the Frank Sinatra song I Did It My Way because it was evidence of independent thinking, and I used to love that because it was the one thing I could get over on my dad when he was telling me that my songs weren't suitable. Well, you can't listen to Frank Sinatra. Now, I felt that Wendy and Tina would have had better pickings if they'd gone through my playlist. For instance, Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell was a real no-brainer, wasn't it? Roxanne by Sting was about prostitutes, so that was out. And even New Religion by Duran Duran was a no-go because it was like sort of encouraging you to pick a new religion, which was bad. Unless, of course, they'd sung within the lyrics of the song that the new religion that you should pick was Jehovah's Witnesses, in which case it would have become a Jehovah's Witness UK #1. So even I was prepared to admit that Led Zeppelin were out of the playlist because I'd read on the fly cover of a book in an HMV shop that they were the self-professed most demonised band ever. And since then, I've often wondered, did I really read that? Because why would a worldly band use the word demonised, which I felt was a witness word? I don't know, maybe I'd invented it, but Led Zepp was off the menu for a long time, and even after I left JW's, I didn't dare buy it for a few years in case the demons came and got me through the cassette tape and into my house. So I felt really it was true that the devil had all the best tunes, didn't he? And as I said before, nothing was on the menu except kingdom melodies, which I felt fitted into a genre that could be described as religious elevator music. And it begs the question, why did God have such a crap taste in music? Why did Satan have all the banging, rocking tunes and God had Kumbaya? You'd think if you were omnipotent and omnipresent that you could come up with something better than those insipid tunes, wouldn't you? Something that, inspired people a bit more. Now, I know that some religious groups have tried to sex up the tunes a little bit, and the Whiteys have gone for a kind of God rock style, and the Blacks went for gospel, which I do quite like, but it still limits you down to one genre of God songs. You'd think that God, in his all-powerfulness, could come up with some banging tunes that had good, fine Christian lyrics, like my favourite rugby song that goes, "'Twas on the good ship Venus, by God you should have seen us. The captain was a very nice man and the crew were very nice too," which I don't often sing down Gloucester Rugby Ground because the only song that you sing down Gloucester Rugby Ground is this one. Took a long time to learn, and it goes, Gloucester. It goes on a lot longer, but I won't bore you with the extended version. I won't bore you with the 45. So, why has God got such an insipid, droning, dull, taste in eye-stabbingly boring music? And why has he let Satan get away with Led Zeppelin and Meatloaf and all those other wicked songs that promote terrible things? And why does it matter whether Tracy Ullman was saying "Move Over Darling" to a married man or not? She might have just been squeezing past him in the theatre, although arguably they might have been watching something worldly in the theatre, and therefore to say "Move Over Darling" while watching a worldly play probably about immorality would again leave yourself wide open to demons seeping through your eyeballs as you listen to the music. So we did reach a point somewhere in the 80s when the cassettes came out. You know, the ones that you had to put a pencil in to tighten up when the tape got too loose. And if it snapped, you could get a piece of sellotape. I did this. And slide it under and carefully line up the two bits of flimsy brown plastic and then snip the sellotape off, and it would still play with nothing near a blip in the song to spoil the otherwise seamless music that you were listening to. So we reached a point where the cassettes were sent out by God's only channel on earth in massive plastic cases you opened it like a 3-page book, didn't you, when you had 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and then another page with 12 in, and it was all insipid God music. And the idea being that when you were doing your ironing, if you were a woman, you could listen to the kingdom melodies. In fact, actually, that's all Christian women did in the 80s, was ironing and listening to kingdom melodies. The men, of course, escaped this fate worse than death because they were out at work earning a crust for their family before rushing home, galloping down the T and rushing to Kingdom Hall to give public talks, and they missed the whole kingdom melody thing altogether. And then I think it kind of fizzled out a bit, and then I don't know what happened after that, because I think I left after the TDK era, and who knows what Jehovah's Witnesses listen to now. But I bet you it's not Tracy Ullman's "Move Over Darling," which, as we've established, is suitable for Christians. Thank you for listening to another Stand Up for Jehovah.